gift of being the eldest daughter. The hyper independence, the over communicating, the not knowing how to communicate and express your feelings, the self-sacrificing, leading you to have people-pleasing tendencies and to put other people before you. Hello beautifuls, my name is Giselle, co-host of the Strong Sun Lovers podcast and founder and CEO of the Create app, an app created specifically for content creators. So if you have a wedding, a baby shower, a birthday, or an event, you need a photographer, a videographer, or a content creator, you can go on the app and find local content creators in your area. This is a project that I've been working on for the last year now. Follow us on Instagram. We are in the process, the beta phase. It should be coming soon. There's so much to do, but I appreciate you guys. Make sure you click on the link on Instagram and join the waitlist. But today is Mother's Day, and I feel like it's a tradition now to make a Mother's Day video. I've been making one for the last 3 years, and it's like an ongoing journey of healing the relationship with me and my mother, and specifically healing the relationship with myself and that mother wound. Being the eldest daughter is not for the weak. I feel like, again, if you're new here, I come from immigrant parents. I came to the United States in 2003. I was 6 years old. I come from Cuba, communist island. I grew up with everyone, with all my family, and then we moved to the United States, and it was just my mom and my grandfather, and that was it. It was just us. I've been to therapy, and I've done the work to understand more of like why my mom does the things that she does and why I am the way that I am as well. Specifically, I remember watching this Oprah interview, and she said that she was born into cup people, a cup family, and she was a gallon. And no matter how much her mom poured into her, like it was never enough just because she was a gallon. And I couldn't relate to that even more. And I couldn't relate to that more because all of my life I felt like I didn't fit in. And when I say that is growing up with my mom, and I felt like I didn't fit in on the things that I believed, the things that I did, the way that I spoke, all these things. How my mind worked was so at odds with how my mom grew up and how things were done in her time. Specifically when it comes to communication, oh my gosh. I feel like I said before, the gift of being the eldest daughter, the difficult communicating because you grew up your whole life believing that speaking what you felt was being disrespectful. You had to consume all your feelings and never let them out, specifically if it went against what your parents believed. Hyper independence of always having to get stuff done on your own and being able to rely on your own, which I felt heavy. This is my last year, last 6 months of my 20s, right? I felt that in my 20s of always having to have my own back. And the self-sacrificing tendencies that the eldest daughter goes through, right? I grew up taking care of my brother. I grew up having to sacrifice my own passions and what I wanted to do for the family. And I grew up with that voice in my ear, which was my mother, telling me, hey, you sacrifice for those you love. And when you use that word sacrifice, which I've mentioned in other videos before, sacrifice without the correct interpretation can lead to just toxicity, because it's not just about self-sacrificing. Yes, we all sacrifice for our family, but if loving someone requires you to love yourself less, that's not the love for you. If loving someone means that you have to self-sacrifice who you are to love that person, then that love is not for you. And I carry that into my relationships. I carry specifically my romantic relationships where I would just give and give and give and give and give and turn myself upside down and sideways to fit into the mold of what that person wanted. And all these relationship problems, right, stem from the relationship that I have with my mother. So funny, my therapist once said, you didn't marry your father. Most women marry their father. You married your mother. The relationship with my mother led me to have people-pleasing tendencies. To please and give and self-sacrifice for everybody else, specifically if I loved you, because that's what I was taught. You have to sacrifice yourself for the ones that you love, even if it makes you so unhappy that you don't even recognize yourself. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I feel like the first video that I did on here was 2023, and I talked about going to therapy and understanding my mom's side of the story, right? And seeing things from her perspective. But at the end of the day, we're all still trying to heal that inner child inside of us that didn't care if you didn't heal your trauma. You know, hurt people. And when you don't heal what broke you, you pass it on. You continue to pass it on. And that's why we have these generational traumas, these generational curses. Because we did not, as a group collectively, we did not take the time to fix those, to heal those wounds. And now we just continue to pass it down to our children. Because the relationship that I have with my mother is the same relationship that she has with her mother, and the same relationship that her mother had with her mother. So it goes back generations. I feel like the second video that I did last year was just me breaking down a little and just forgiving. Because when we don't forgive, that poison inside of us stays with us. And I know that I don't want to pour that into my children. I want my water to be pure. I want whatever I pour into them to come from a place of healing, not from a place of toxicity. I want to be able to love freely, specifically my children. So I knew that I had to heal, and that's when the eldest daughter becomes the freaking black sheep of the family, becomes the chain breaker, becomes the one that has to do all this work that feels ever ending, like never ending, to truly give the next generation a chance to be better, to do better, to live differently. I think this video, this Mother's Day, is about me continuing to being on this healing journey and just seeing different parts of me now that are coming up that I still need to heal, that I still need to work on, that I still need some love, tender love and care. Because to be honest, I'm just numb to it. I'm tired and I'm numb to it. And it's ironic because it's a Scorpio. Like, I love deeply. I love who I love. And sometimes I love so deeply that I scare my own self, you know? But I can't really remember, besides last year, when I have really cried. I feel like I don't have any more tears. And it's not even that I don't have any more tears. I feel like the tears are there, but there's this huge dam, this huge wall that I have built because of my mother hunger, because of that motherly wound that sometimes you don't necessarily fix because it's a forever thing. You will forever need your mom, and you will forever want your mom. You know, I saw a video today that said, you were always a part of me. Literally, if you know the science behind it, as a woman, when we're created in utero, you have the amount of eggs that you will have for the rest of your life. So when you are born, the eggs are already within you. And you were already within your mother. And your mother was already within their grandmother. So it goes 3 generations. All together, all one. All in the same body, in a sense. So to think that my mom and I have been together forever, it's crazy. To look at it from a daughter's perspective and then to think about it as a mother, which I'm not. But in the future, if I do get the privilege to become a mother, knowing that those eggs, my children, were with me this whole time. It's been hard to turn on and off the switch when it comes to my mom, and then when it comes to just other parts of my life. Because right now I feel like I'm numb to everything. Like, my relationships are not as deep, even though I love them deeply. I want to feel them deeper. And I feel like I haven't been able to do that because of the numbness that I have forced myself to have. leading back to the hyper independence, I feel like I can live and survive without anyone. Like I don't need anyone. Sometimes I literally just want to move to a new country, a new place. Like sometimes I want to leave everything behind, everything and everyone that I know, and never look back. And the more that I think about it, that's trauma. Not feeling at ease or not feeling at home. Feeling like the only place that is home is me. And everybody outside of me, it is what it is. And it's sad because I've always wanted a family. I've always wanted to be in a family. I remember taking it back to why I got married so young at 19. My ex-husband's family was everything that I've ever wanted. I've always wanted a family that does things together, that has family traditions, that celebrates together, that they just spend a lot of time together. It's family dinners, Sunday dinners, you name it, family vacations, all the things that I ever wanted. And now as I get older and more aware, I turned 30 this year, and realizing for reals, right? I feel like we always have hope. But realizing like my relationship with my mother will never be that. My relationship with my mother will never be that if she's not willing to do the work to heal herself. And it's going to be 50 years for her of being unable to do the work. So I don't know if she will ever change her ways or the way that she's viewing things, because life is short. And that's one of the things that I love about myself. It's like, love who you love now. Say the things that you have to say now. I've thought to myself like, damn, I love my mother, and I tell her I love her whenever I get a chance. I just texted her, Happy Mother's Day. She just said thank you. I don't want to live my life with regrets, because I know that I can be gone tomorrow. I know that she can be gone tomorrow. But the truth and the reality is that my life is better without her in it. As painful as that may be. And again, I'm so numb that I'm like, so my decisions to not have her in my life still stand. If she passed away tomorrow, I would be okay with the decisions that I have made thus far. I think it's sad because now as I get older, I think about my children and how they won't have a relationship with their grandmother, and how she won't get to experience that, at least from my side. And I feel bad for my children. And I know, I truly pray to God above that my husband has an amazing family and my children will lack nothing. She recently moved to Texas, and there has been a lot of drama on the internet because Cubans love drama on the internet. And I saw a post, and someone that used to be close to her posted something very negative and just a lot of things that are happening in her life right now. And basically just putting all her dirty laundry out into the world. And mind you, my mom can be all the things, but at the end of the day, she's still my mother. And even though I haven't talked to her in forever, I still message her. And I was like, no sé lo que estás pasando, ni tampoco sé las cosas que estás viviendo, pero siempre recuerda que tu familia sí te quiere. Because the post said like, oh, your family doesn't love you. And I just text her to remind you, like, yes, your family does love you. I don't know what's going on in your life, but your family does love you. Even if we don't agree with your life decisions. Because even though I don't agree with your life decisions, you're still my mother. I hope that you choose better for you, for your life. We love you. And she replied with, tú tranquila que mi vida no está como quiero que esté, pero mi conciencia está tranquila. No todo es lo que parece, así que no creas todo lo que digan. Yo estoy bien y estaré mejor. Te lo aseguro. Cuídate. So she said, oh, I'm good. Don't believe everything you hear or read on the internet. Everything's gonna work out for me. Thank you. And then she said, y mi madre puede dar crédito a lo que digo. Y en caso que necesite ayuda, ella es mi 911. Porque sé que así va a estar y suele estar. Cuídate. So it's funny how she added that last part, right? If you don't speak Spanish. Then she said, and my mom can give credit to what I'm saying. If I ever need anything, my mother is my 911. Because I know that she will always be there for me. Have a good day. And again, sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a teenager. Like, what I said to her totally went over her head. And she had to say this, which is ironic. Because when I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, that must be such an amazing feeling of being able to call your mom when you need something. Of being able to depend on your mom like 911. Damn. I wish I had one of those. I didn't write that. I didn't send her that. I wasn't petty. But I was like, again, you're so oblivious. Her life is so consumed in her life of the chaos that she has created for herself that she can't even see anything past her. And people like that, you gotta keep at a distance. Because hurt people. And even though it might not be intentionally, like, stuff happens. And I think as I go more into my healing journey, and now, it's never ending, right? Now I have to figure out how to deal with these emotions, feel them, so I can open myself up to feeling other emotions, good emotions, to feel the love that people give me, to even like relationships, romantically or platonic, to really feel it deep, to get all the pleasures that comes from people that love you, all the gifts. I think right now, like, the hardest thing for me to navigate is my brother. My brother just turned 18, but I just made a video. You saw it's a stepmother, right? Video about where he is and like where he's staying with his dad right now. But his dad has this girlfriend and she's not nice. And my mom leaving him there because he literally had to move in with him. I had to force him in a way to move in with his father because my mom wasn't taking him to school. She gave up. He hopefully is graduating this year, but he didn't go to school for a year and a half. What kind of mother lets their child not go to school for a year and a half? And then you're mad at the child. It's your responsibility. And then the father, again, because these people do not heal themselves, talking about, oh, it's not my fault he didn't go to school for a year and a half. You knew he didn't go to school for a year and a half and you did nothing about it. It's just as your fault as hers. Like, boils me. So now he's in this situation where this stepmother of his literally told him to himself at 15. This woman is not nice. This woman does not care about him. This woman makes his life miserable. And I'm not saying that my brother's a saint because he's messy as hell. But the way that you talk to children, the way that you talk to other people's child, even though he's 18 now, her way of doing it's disgusting. You don't tell a 15-year-old to go themselves. You don't belittle them every chance you get. The things that she says to him is disgusting. You're a grown-ass adult. And his father allows it. That's why I can't even go over to that house anymore, because last time I went over, that's when I made that video, and now I'm just like, babe, you're on my blacklist. You are on my blacklist. And out of respect for his father, I'm gonna stay away because I'm gonna have to cuss her out. We're gonna have a problem. And this is not my house. And even thinking about that, again, I don't have a home where I can be like, oh yeah, my brother can come live with me. No, he's stuck there. He doesn't even know how to drive. He's never had a job. He's 18. All he does is play video games. He His mentality was not shaped by parents that loved him, that taught him anything that freaking matters. So now he's 18 and they're like, oh, you're on your own. You taught them nothing. Your job, you did not do your job. And now, because my mother doesn't have her shit together, he has to be in the situation where he's belittled, where he's told that he ain't shit 100% of the time. These are his own traumas that he's gonna have to deal with and grow from. Because even sometimes talking to him, the way that he views life is not reality. Oh, I'm just gonna pursue my passions. I'm just gonna play video games. That's all he knows. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll just work at McDonald's, babe. You can't survive working on McDonald's. Oh, I don't want to graduate. I don't want to go to school. What do you mean? You need to at least have your high school diploma. You don't have to go to college, but you have to at least. Most jobs are requiring a GED or a high school diploma. You're setting yourself up to fail. Your parents have already set you up to fail. But these are things that he has to learn on his own. Now he's, at this point, he's 18. He has to fail and fall on his face on his own for him to learn how things work, how he truly wants to live his life. And it's just sad. It's just sad because he didn't deserve that. That's why I'm a huge advocate of, if you can't afford a child, do not have it. And when I say afford, it's not just financially. If you can't emotionally afford a child, do not have it. If you haven't healed your traumas, do not have a child. Broken people creating more broken people. Creating broken homes. But yeah, no tears this Mother's Day. I'm just thankful that I can open my eyes and continue to heal through this journey. And I'm so thankful for the women in my life that show me the example of what kind of mother I want to be. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Noelia. Shout out to freaking Jennifer. Shout out to Glendis. Shout out to Zena Carvajal. Shout out to these amazing Coco. Shout out to these amazing women that are amazing mothers and that show up for their children every chance they get. I love you guys. You heal my child wounds every time I see you being a mother. Okay, I thought I was gonna say no tears. I love you guys. Keep being amazing and happy Mother's Day.